Hey guys, I wanted to make a video explaining how to install an aftermarket head unit in a newer type vehicle. And even an older type vehicle has this capability, but basically you can add features that the factory OEM radio didn't have, or you can update an older vehicle and make it have technologies that are being implemented today, like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It makes driving a lot safer and a lot more enjoyable. With that said, I want to talk about the iDataLink Maestro RR. And this is basically an interface module that allows you to integrate to the factory's CAN bus system. And what do I mean by that? Well, by that we retain all the factory steering wheel controls, which we'll get to later. You're able to retain the backup cameras, the 360 cameras if you have them. If you get the R2, you can set programmable outputs to control winches, light bars, strobes, whatever you want. You're able to retain the factory speaker wiring. You're able to add amplifiers. It gives you an abundance of different settings that are configurable with this interface module. So nowadays it's not as easy as just splicing in a couple wires. You get the interface module, you get the harness that you need, and iDataLink also makes things very, very easy by providing you these connectors that plug into your aftermarket radio and allow you to retain a lot of stuff and make it look OEM. Like this connector right here, for example, is the USB 2, which allows you to retain the factory USB port and aux cable. You also have another one for the GPS antenna, and we have another one back here that's for the satellite radio. You can reuse the factory satellite radio. So another good thing about having an aftermarket head unit is you don't have to have a line output converter. You can just use the RCAs straight to your amp, get a really clean signal, and no distortion, no static, none of that. You also have connectors that allow you to use the factory FM AM antenna. So these head units nowadays have a lot of cool features that like USB, HDMI, obviously wireless and wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But we're gonna go ahead and take this Maestro RR, get it configured, get it programmed and flashed, and I'll show you that next. All right guys, this is how you flash the module. Make sure you have a micro USB that is able to transfer data, not just charge. Get your Maestro RR. You're gonna plug it in right here. This one's already flashed, but I'm gonna do it anyways. It'll look like that. You should have no lights on until you start detecting. So we'll pick detect. We'll say flash your vehicle. Then we're gonna go to the year. Make, go down to your model. If you have aftermarket amplifiers, pick without amplifier. If this is your steering column, then go ahead and pick that. Pick your unit. There is going to be a shortcut up here, so we're just going to type 8600. We're going to look for our head unit, which is 8600, and then we're going to type in our serial number. All right, after you set your serial number in, it's going to suggest or recommend, this one says up here required, so you do need the TO2 harness to be able to tie into your factory harness without splicing. Now you will have a couple options, the SATO2, which allows you to retain your Sirius XM and your GPS antenna if you had factory navigation. Now that's all good. The satellite one I've used, especially since these aftermarket head units don't come with Sirius integrated into the head unit. So definitely use the Sirius XM one. It comes with various connectors here because it's got like Kenwood, Pioneer, and Sony, I think, or something like that. But the point is, it allows you to two adapters to connect the Toyota GPS antennas to most aftermarket head units or radios. But don't use the GPS antenna because your CarPlay is going to be very spotty, especially because the antenna's on the roof. You kind of want it close to where your phone's going to be, like 95% of the time. Now the USB 2 allows you to retain your USB and aux cables, so definitely get those. And those are optional. These are optional, but it makes install a lot easier and you don't have to cut anything. You're able to install radar detectors that go in the grill that are stealth, as they call them. The K2 and then Escort makes, a K40 and then Escort makes them as well. But since we don't have any of these, we're gonna go ahead and... Now, these are the things that you want to configure. Click yes to everything. All right, here's where it gets exciting because you're able to adjust these buttons and do separate settings, and it gives you default. Down here you can do default values. I don't know why it doesn't let you click on them, but the point is that oh, I know why, because it's not going to let you change the factory settings on some of these. But we will want to, like for example, press once for the volume up. Well, we want to press volume up as well. If you hold it down, it'll mute it. That's kind of actually annoying, so I'm going to change that to down. I can put mute down here though, and then you have Siri or voice, and then you have the right side that you can configure. I'm not going to mess with any of that. Also, you can get a little harness that lets you set outputs with the R2. You can control light bars, up to 3 outputs, light bars, strobes, ditch lights, winches, all that cool stuff you can actually control from the Maestro R2. I don't have the R2 because I didn't need that feature. That's the only difference between the two. But and then you got off hook and on hook, which is stuff that definitely if you're old school, you know what that's about. Put it on the hook, put it off the hook. But that's this little, and when you hover around each one, it'll light up white, so it's pretty cool. So moving forward, we're going to keep this configuration. We're going to go to continue. Okay, and we still go to continue. Once you're ready to start flashing your module, it's going to turn green. It's going to ask you once more about all these settings, make sure everything's good, make sure that your buttons are all configured correctly, and then you just push flash. This takes about, if you have a desktop or a laptop, it should take about, you know, a few seconds, not very long. It's pretty quick. After that, you should be good to go, and we can plug it into the vehicle and see what it can do. Video, but basically, besides making your sound system sound 10 times better, you have plenty of adjustability in these head units as well. You're able to control crossover settings, which is the frequencies and the slope that they play at. So if you want to eliminate distortion or play speakers a little bit louder, this is something you play with. It can get really complicated with passive networks or going active, which is another beast by itself. And time alignment. Time alignment, basically, you're able to control speakers individually so they all arrive at your position at the same time, and it doesn't sound like the sound's coming from all over. But that's something, if you're really big into sound quality. The reason we're here is because I wanted to show you. This is the Maestro RR settings. Besides being able to interface and use everything that comes with the vehicle, you're able to use the steering wheel controls and all that. You notice I can open the door. It tells me PSI. That's not very accurate because we're not rolling. Voltage, which is pretty accurate because we're not turned on. But we also have gauges here that are in real time. You can customize these. You can change them. As you can see, I have one set up for transmission temperature for when I'm towing. But that's basically it. If you have any questions, just comment down below. Hopes this helps other people looking into integrating aftermarket radio. Thanks.